Hi, and welcome to another exciting episode of Platteville Fantasy Podcast Show, episode number 26. So, get right down to it. The West took care of the East, 6-2. Pretty much a big domination, except for Bill and I, and all the wins and losses were pretty much all important with this week. Get scramble it all up a little bit, but yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting with these last 3 weeks. Yeah, I don't really. Well, just get into it. To the matchups. We're going to go through the matchups pretty fast. My show went along last time, so try to go quicker this time. Your first matchup was your championship belt. Goes to the best team, Fred, 155, taking me down 82 points. I haven't been that bad for a while. I think his team plays defense somehow. Not real sure how that happens. Anyway, moving on. Jameson, a big 144 over Apollo, Red Hot Apollo. So that was a huge loss for you, Apollo, and kind of a solid win for you, Jameson. A lot of points, moves you into sole possession of first in the West. You're tied with Fred with wins and losses, but a huge amount of points. You're in the driver's seat now. No Rivers again, but with Sanchez, you obviously know what you're doing. Anyway, Drew winning again. 112 over Bills 86. 86 is your lowest score, I think, Bill, you've had. You've been pretty consistent. Um, Unlike me going up and down, up and down, we have about the same amount of points, but you've been pretty consistent except for this week. Third win in a row for you, Drew. This is exactly what you need to do. And you're back in the picture somehow. Yeah, I think top 12 teams are pretty much in the picture. Uh, anyway, here's your who got away with one of the week, and that was Jason taking down Brian 84-71. This is the second lowest score to win a week this season, and actually the lowest score was Brian back in week 6, 83 points. Uh, your next score. Oh, by the way, Paulo, you are in who got screwed with Mitch losing to Man 102-111. Pretty huge win for you, Man. Still having a good, respectable amount of points. And Mitch losing again. Fourth week in a row not winning. So Mitch is just nosediving here. Mitch still looking good though because you have the same amount of losses as the top teams. Mainly what you're looking at is Fred, not so much Jameson because that bye is pretty huge. Um, but you got to figure out a win, and it might be a little tough with Vic breaking some ribs there. Might be time for a little Tebow time, but he beat the Chiefs with 2 completions. Yeah, nice win over a number one team, John. Man, you got another number one team coming up. But anyway, your next one, the Burrs winning one, keeping them in the hunt with 6 wins now, beating Jordan's team. Matt Schaub is out for you, Jordan. You're pretty much out. So that's what that is. A-Rod was the MVP with the most points. Of course, Mitch gave me a little equation. A-Rod minus his week 1 points divided by total Dan Burr points. A-Rod is 23, almost a quarter of his entire points, 23.6%. Your next one, Pete wins. Pete wins. What? Pete beat Kai. Kai, that was horrible. You had to win that. That was your game to win. You were playing Pete. You should have been able to take that one down. I know 103 was pretty good for Pete, but that's pretty bad. I mean, what's I don't know, Pete. You got to win 3 in a row. I think you're out. Yeah, you're pretty much out because yeah. I mean, you're not mathematically out, but your points, so you're out. But you can play spoiler, which is what you did there, Kai. Like I said, you really didn't need that. Now with the amount of points that you have, apparently, with the other playoff picture guys. Anyway, next matchup. Uh, oh, by the way, I know your team is banged up like crazy. Next matchup, Bunker over Brendo, 122-70. This one was an obvious win, but I thought the other one would be. But Brendo scores 70 again, so I guess he scores 70 or 40s. Fun fact from Mitch, Bunker, you have an open roster spot. I'm not sure if you're watching this right now, but you don't have to worry about salary caps in this league. So, I don't know. Yeah. And that's, I think, all your matchups. I want to get through those real fast because what's really interesting is what's coming up with these next 3 weeks. Your matchups, the ones just the butting heads of all the 6 and 4 teams in the West are going to be playing each other. So it's just like Bill and I, we keep playing teams that are in the hunt. So I'm playing the Burrs, and I'm breezeless in this one coming up. But I have a potential of Danber not putting 3 players in. I'm not sure if Danber watches this or if he gets this far in the podcast. But sometimes he doesn't put in his guys that are biased, and he has 3 of them, so that'd be pretty huge for me. But I need to court my best players out, so that's huge. Kai and Apollo, there's a huge one in the East, because you two are trying to bump up into that playoff spot. Either I or Dan Burr are going to lose, and same with Bill and Bunker. So you guys both have a chance to tie our wins. That would move you ahead of us, Kai, and it would tie you. Oh, and you have a good amount of points. You, me, Bill, and Jason are all on the same points level and 1 win off of each other. So it's quite the dead heat. Dan Burr and Kirsten, you guys hurt yourself with not having started anybody in week 1. But anyway, that's another huge matchup. Bill versus Bunker, like I said before, that one's going to be a big time matchup. Bunker has a lot of points, so yeah, he's just flying. 3 wins in a row. That's pretty huge. Hot team right now. Fred's still the hottest, but anyway, Jason versus Pete. Jason, this is your opportunity to be you're in it with all your points. You're a game behind. Playing Pete. I know Pete won, but Pete won with 103 points, and you have the potential to take that down, but he didn't last week though. Mitch, you got Brendo, so maybe you'll break your little funk of 4 in a row. Probably will, unless Tebow. If you're starting Tebow though, that's up in the air. Ja-Man and Jameson, that's a pretty huge one for Ja. Ja, you need that win like no other, and too bad you're going up against Jameson, the second best team points wise in the league. It's gonna be rough. And then Drew and Fred, the hot teams there, the only 2 teams in the East that won last week, are going against each other. 1 3 in a row, 1 4 in a row. But this is also between you, Drew, and Ja. You guys both need huge wins. You guys are tightrope walking the rest of the way here. Yeah, at 11 and 12. Everyone else is like still in the thick of things. Maybe you can lose one or here or there, but you two need to keep it up. Yeah, I mean Brian maybe because he still have 4 wins, but you're barely Brian. Yeah, but Brian, you're playing Jordan, so so that might be huge for you. He just lost his job, one of his best players, so you actually might still be in it. So it still might be a 13-team race for those last 6 spots, but yeah. Moving on. Pick'em. I had one of the most epic worst pick'ems, and I wasn't even trying to stretch. You know, usually if people are on the bottom of the pick'em, they're stretching. I'm just not as good at it as I once was. Anyway, it was pretty bad overall. Anyway. In hockey, Platteville beat Apollo and his winning streak and his losing streak. So there you have it. Mitch is off to another hot start in hockey, but like anyone knows, Mitch's stamina doesn't quite keep up with him. So, as seen in football. Another NBA meeting gone bad, so fantasy NBA might not happen. But college basketball's back, and get ready for that March Madness. I don't know if it's gonna be that Axe gonna be the championship. I'm thinking if I find a weight belt, if anybody has a weight belt, I'm gonna find an old turtle shell, put it right on there for a championship belt. Yeah, well, that's the podcast. Good luck this week. It's getting really exciting in football. In the beginning of football, I'm always a little bored, but this is when it gets fun. So, see you guys later.